Tokozani. It is me, Gogo uMkhanya Kude, and you are here with me for another episode of Vusela with Gogo uMkhanya. Again, that's me, and you are here to hear what I have to say, what Spirit has to say in response to some of the questions that you've sent me in your inbox, in my inbox rather, and in my DMs. And so I'm just taking this time out to answer these questions specifically. I enjoy answering these questions. So if you have any additional questions when you view this video, by all means, inbox me, DM me, ask away, and as Spirit leads, I will respond. So today we're going to be responding to Mar underscore M14 on Instagram. These are questions that came from an Instagram poll that I did asking people to send in topics that they wanted me to speak on video. And Mar underscore M14 sent, how can one deal with the calling while their parents or guardians are loyal believers to God only? So I am assuming that this is in reference to parents who are strictly Christian, who don't believe in ancestors, who don't believe in the idea of idlozi and the concept of idlozi. These are people who are strictly Christian. They have been Christianized in their way of thinking, and how they view the world, how they approach the world. And that sometimes stands in direct contrast to our calling as being healers and doing this ancestral work. And so I know that this is something that many people deal with. I myself come from a Christian background. I was, in fact, a preacher and a pastor, and coming out of that and coming into this tradition was something that took time. It was not something that I was able to just do, to just leave Christianity and then just come on over here to uMkhanya and the world of ancestors and Idlozi and everything. That took some time. And so for myself, who is a progressive person, who is someone who is open-minded and willing to seek the truth and explore the truth no matter where it may take me, it took some time. So if you consider that and look at people who are not so open-minded, it's going to take them even more time, and it may not happen at all. So the expectation there kind of has to shift from needing their approval to really focusing on your journey. And I know that may be difficult to do when you're young. I get a lot of young people, ages 17 to like 21, who inbox me and ask me questions like this. How do I deal with the fact that I have a calling and my parents don't believe in ancestors? My parents don't believe in Idlozi, and they see them as demonic or as evil. It can be difficult when you're living in a household and you are not yet responsible for your own well-being, and you're not living on your own. You're still dependent upon your parents to take care of you, and your ancestors come calling. It can be very difficult, but as I've stated in other videos, and I will continue to state, that it is imperative that you develop your relationship with your ancestors above all things, because it is you that they are calling. It is your life that they want to work through. It is, you're the one that's having the dreams. You're the one that's having the visions and the illnesses or the sicknesses that are going on within you, as you accept your calling and come into that place of acceptance. You're the one that's able to see and able to hear and able to speak and able to be in spirit. So it is imperative for you to develop that relationship with your Idlozi, with your ancestors, for yourself, so that they can begin to work on your behalf, to work on the hearts and minds of your parents or your caretakers, so that they will be able to release you to go train to do the work that you're being called to do. Now, that may not look like them bidding you a peaceful journey. That may look like issues that need to come up to the forefront coming up, and a divide being placed between you and your parents for the time being, because your ancestors need to separate you so that they can heal you in the ways that you need to be healed. So when you go back to your parents, you, as a healed person and as having initiated spirits, you can go back to your parents and begin to bridge the gap, in a more effective and progressive way. So don't be surprised that the more you answer your ancestors, that it may be that the more pressure you're getting from your parents, to conform, or the more tense that relationship may become. And that's just not with parents. That's if you have a husband or a wife who is, not open to ancestors and all of that, or if you've got friends and, other family members who are, not interested in you following your calling because of fear. There's a lot of fear, there's a lot of misinformation that has been passed down in the name of religion. There's a lot of superstition. They demonized our ancestors in order to colonize their minds. They demonized the ancestral work, the realm of the ancestors. They made it like our ancestors are evil, and that the work that we did as ancestors was evil, while at the same time taking our concepts like slaughter and sacrifice and priesthood and initiation and all these things, and somehow making it holy the way that they do it, and using the same principles that our ancestors have used for eons, for centuries. Okay, and so you've got to begin to reclaim those things within yourself, um, so that you can be an example for your parents, for your loved ones and friends and family who may not understand and who may be afraid of what is happening. So it is important for you to establish your relationship with your ancestors so that you can go to your people, go to your ancestors, and beseech them on behalf of your family members and ask for the way to be made for that gap to be bridged. Um, I know that in South African culture, the parental dynamics between parent and child is a bit different than it is here in the United States. But ultimately, as I stated before, it is you that has to do the work. It's you that has to answer the calling and no one else. So, ultimately, it is your decision to make on how important it is for you and to you to move forward so that you can be free in your mind and in your heart and in your spirit, because that's the ultimate goal. Your ancestors need you to be free so that you can do the work that they've called you to do, and to be brave and to be strong and to be courageous. And many times you are the one that's going to break that generational curse of colonial religion in your family. And that is going to make you the outcast, and that is going to make you the black sheep. But it also means that you've been chosen and that you've been called and you've been selected. So you can look at it as a curse, or you can look at it as a blessing. And I encourage you to look at it as a blessing and as a gift, because that's really and truly what it is. So that is my advice or my counsel. That's my response to that question. If you have any more questions, by all means, please, please, please email me. Please, inbox me, DM me your questions, and I will work to answer them as spirit guides and leads. So until we meet again, as my hen says, Tokoza.